Hello, welcome to the Metapod, a Pokemon TCG podcast that revolves around the evolving meta. That was the second time I did that this morning because Sean interrupted me the first time, but it's fine. I love Sean and I love all the things that we got going on here on the pod today. Sean, how are you?
I'm good. And any of you watching on the YouTubes will see that there's two other people joining us today. So that we don't talk for too long while these other people are like, who are these humans? Well, one, if you don't know who these humans are, how do you know about our podcast? Two, why don't y'all go ahead and introduce yourselves? We'll start with Shai, or HotChocPTCG.
HotChocPTCG, formerly known as the Slowpoke. You might remember me by that one. But yeah, hello. I am HotChocPTCG Shai. I just make Pokemon YouTube videos on the interwebs, all sorts really. Song parodies, comedy, deck profiles, vlogs, just a big mishmash of stuff really. You know what I mean?
And we also have PumpkaAmy with us here today. I'm gesturing, but it doesn't matter.
Which way?
Up, down, wherever it is that makes sense. With PumpkaAmy.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, so my name's PumpkaAmy. I do a lot of Pokemon content on Twitch. So we do Pokemon TCG, we do Pokemon art, we do Pokemon challenge runs, VGC, all sorts really. And yeah, it's just been quite a wonderful time.
So the reason that we have these people here today, for anyone who may not remember, this was a couple weeks ago, I think probably like 2 months ago. Sean and I brought up the idea of possibly interviewing people within the Pokemon TCG community that have made a name for themselves during the pandemic. The pandemic has been long. It's still going on. Thankfully, a lot of us can kind of start doing some things again, but we're still not back to where we are. And so this is going to be a series that we do, the first of a couple different episodes where we highlight people that have turned something, awful, horrible to something in their own, something beautiful, something really, really cool. I met both of these two people, I think, during the pandemic, and these are wonderful people that I'm excited to have on. So we're just going to talk a little bit about a couple different things, their content, the stuff that they do in the TCG, things like that, kind of their origin story, if you will, and then even maybe some other broader questions that we have. But
you say origin story, and I thought like bit by a radioactive spider. Who was bit by a radioactive?
Who got bit by the radioactive tortoise? But we'll start. We'll fire off a little bit of some quick questions here. So real quick, which is your favorite Pokemon?
Oh, go on, Amy. You start.
Pumpkaboo.
Okay. That makes sense. The one that you're currently holding. Yes.
The one I'm cuddling, but
people
close
people on the
Cyndaquil and
podcast
Rowlet.
can't see it.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I'm cuddling a Pumpkaboo. It's life size. It's very cute. So yeah. But one of my other favorites is Rowlet, which is actually one of the reasons that I met Jake. And Cyndaquil was my first ever Pokemon, so holds a real special place in my heart.
So I have a question. Is that Pumpkaboo comes in like different sizes,
Yes.
Which size? You said this is life size. Which size is the life size?
This one is the large Pumpkaboo. This
Oh,
is a
okay.
large boo. So this one is a big boy, and it's not actually that big. So I imagine like the small one would be really cute, but this is from the Pokemon Center. It's real cute.
Shai, how about you?
My favorite Pokemon actually changed kind of recently. It used to be the champ. That's why I've got my champs knocking about. But upon the release of, what was it called? Isle of Armor, it has to be Urshifu. What an absolute unit of a Pokemon. I can't love him. That single strike. If you played the game at home, or if you haven't played the games, go on YouTube, search what's it called, Wicked Blow Urshifu. Just watch that animation and tell me Urshifu isn't the coolest Pokemon ever. It's like, pow! Get out of my way. Yeah,
it's probably my favorite Pokemon play right now in the TCG. Single strike Urshifu. It's not great, but it's just fun hitting for like 800 damage in one turn.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit of Primal Ground and that sort of thing where it's like, right, this Pokemon at some point is going to take 3, 4, maybe 6 prizes. Stop it, because if you don't, game's over.
Exactly. There's a lot of similarities that go with it that just make it really appealing to a lot of people. So going real quick. So now we're gonna we've got the easy question out of the way. Now we're gonna get the hard questions. Some trigonometry in here through the Pokemon trading card game. But tell us a little bit of the content that you do. Both of you kind of previewed it when we were doing sort of introductions, but maybe go into it a little bit more of like, what do you try to do with your content? Like if someone were to be at a restaurant, talking to someone and be like, oh, you watch PumpkaAmy? You only have a minute to tell me about what PumpkaAmy's channel is all about. What would you want someone to say?
I'd probably want someone to say just wholesome Pokemon TCG community goodness. Essentially, my channel is based off tournaments. Like, that's what it started as. We started running tournaments on TCGO. But it ended up actually becoming this really lovely community of people who help each other out to not only create amazing decks, but also get the cards they need and just be really wonderful to one another. Like, the community really is a rock for a lot of people at this point, and it's fantastic.
Now, do you run your tournaments through Limitless? Or did you okay, nice, cool.
I didn't used to. I used to run before I was an organizer on Limitless, before that was even a thing, because at the start of the pandemic it wasn't. We started on Challenge. It didn't always pair things the way we wanted, so we moved over to Battlefy or Battlefy, and then when Limitless became a bit more prevalent within being able to take on other organizers than the ones which already kind of existed there, then we applied for that and started running through Limitless.
Well, I've got to give you praise. As somebody, I've been doing tournaments for Digimon. I know, sacrilege.
Oh, I do Digimon too.
Oh, okay.
Boom,
After. But that's what I've been deep in. But yeah, I've been running tournaments for Digimon, and running tournaments is a lot of work.
I do it at least 3 times a week.
Oh my gosh! Well, applause. That's dedication.
I didn't realize it was 3 times a week.
Well, it's twice online, and now that the pandemic is low-key kind of becoming over, obviously I run our local league once a week as well, and then I'm running Digimon once a week as well. So actually, it's kind of 4.
Oh my gosh!
Are you a judge in Pokemon and Digimon? Well, I guess Digimon doesn't have judges officially
Digimon
yet.
doesn't have judges yet, but yeah, I'm a judge and a TO in Pokemon. I have been for 3 years.
Wow. Okay. Did not know that. I'm learning things. Shay, some background on the content that you make.
I guess the channel it's been going for a while, to be fair. Obviously, as a slow pro, it used to be me and someone else who has dropped out since. But started off sort of doing more competitive focused stuff, almost like podcast segments where you interview people. Then when the pandemic hit, I just thought, well, I'm just going to start doing some bonk stuff because everyone's going to be at home. They haven't got a choice but to watch now. Let's start going crazy. So I started off with did a lot of new format stuff, a lot of deck profiles, and then one day I was just watching some Sidemen stuff. Anyone who knows a Sidemen, a big hench UK channel, it was doing better comedy. I thought, let's just start doing some comedy stuff. Did some of that, went down really well. Then I got into a phase of watching diss tracks, and I thought I'm gonna make a song parody. I just found the more fun I had making the content, and the more bonkers it was, the more well it received. So now, if any idea had the green light now, I'll do anything. So we still keep the backbone deck profiles and meta analysis and all that stuff. But now I've got if I was to show you my little idea whiteboard, there's a lot of skit ideas on it. I'm just going to slowly start working through. So I noticed there wasn't really if you look at stuff like Magic, you have Magic the Gathering Remy, I think his name is. You've got Team APS, I'd like to say, does Yu-Gi-Oh! They do sort of similar skit type stuff. And I thought no one's really doing that in Pokemon. And you know, if no one's doing it, then that means I have to be kind of good if I'm the only one doing it, right? No one can do it better than me if I'm the only one. So, so that was the idea, and yeah, it's just been going rocking ever since. To be fair, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Sean. No, you go.
I was gonna say, Shay, I know you and I were you know how everybody who gets on the content creation train, you might be different points along the journey. You and I, at the beginning of the pandemic, I think were lockstep in terms of growth. It was wild. It was wild to see okay, you're hitting 1,000, then It was a lot of fun having another person who was like on that journey at the same point.
And I'm not even gonna lie to you, Sean. When we was going through that stage, like being about the same, I remember looking at that. Man, this guy's video is so much damn better than mine. I had to step my game up because I can't be having this. So yeah, big inspo there.
Well,
sure,
it was. I just had fancy equipment. I don't know if the content was necessarily better, but the wrapping was very nice. It was some fancy wrapping, but you have definitely got like multiple fancy cameras now, so definitely overtaken me in that respect.
Yeah, I mean, when we did stuff, I mean, the upgrades that you've gotten since our Sabrina challenge thing that we did, I think that video is actually on YouTube now that I think about it, for anyone who wants to do a deep dive. But yeah, Amy, yeah, I was gonna comment that same thing on the next question. I'll get to that in a second. But I mean, you know, your mic was all right, but now it's fantastic, and like your video quality is just so much better, and now you have these multiple screens that you're going on. It's incredible to see the growth from both sides actually. Which is something that I love about content creating, is just like being around for the long term and seeing that. But
yeah, I love that. That's what a benefit of having such addictive personality like I have. Like if I obsess with something, I like hyper obsessed. Like, right, I am now gonna make this 100% better in a week. I'm just gonna try everything on my path. You can ask my mates if I'm either at the gym or I'm thinking about YouTube. That's the only things I do. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just sort of a handy benefit, I guess. It's just
I'm going to point this out. If anybody on YouTube has noticed, Amy and I have the same Pokemon Center mugs. Well, not necessarily the same, but she's got the Grookey mug. I have the Sobble mug. So you could say that great minds think alike. Sean, where's
my mug?
What's it
Score Bunny?
I need to get a proper Pokemon mug, because you and I both usually when we record in the morning we'll have coffee, and mine is just in my generic mugs. I finished my matcha already, but
how could you be a Pokemon podcast host without a Pokemon mug?
I know.
I need to send one to you.
Absolutely, like
the only mug I can find is a Game of Thrones one. So
a lot of people like Game of Thrones. I get that, but a lot of people also like the Pokemon trading card game. Obviously, you two have big sized audience, some decent sized audiences in the game, but what originally got you into it? Like, what was the start? What was the day that you were like, hey, I'm going to start making videos, or hey, I'm going to start running these tournaments and doing it on Twitch? Or just like, what was that moment that you were like, you know, let's just start doing this? It wouldn't even be a moment of like, man, I want to do this full time, or man, I want to commit like 40 hours a week to this. What was the first, you know, live button? What was the first time you hit the live button?
I'll let you start, Amy. I have to think about one.
I didn't actually know what Twitch was when I started, like, not properly. I'd watched a few streams before, but nothing serious. And basically I required to continue running the Pokemon tournaments online as part of my job, because I work at a board game cafe. I run events every week, and it was important to me to keep our local community interested and engaged in Pokemon while in potentially a really long-term pandemic situation. So I didn't even know what Twitch was. I was not expecting anybody but the league members to ever watch my stream. I was just being there so that I could run the event in the normal way I do, with the usual enthusiasm that I have. So I was just literally there live for our league members to watch. And then that view count started to tick up, and I'm like, who else is here? who are you people? And then they started chatting, and we're like, oh, can we join in next time? And I was like, well, I see no reason why not. It's online. So we started to allow other members of other leagues to pop in and play as well. And we started to adopt the people who also couldn't play at their local leagues. Mm-hmm. And then it grew and grew and grew. And then I had to learn what Twitch was, because I was starting to have people tune in. So then I actually had to kind of carry on. And it was just through work obligation that I initially started the channel, and then through learning what Twitch was properly and learning how it works and interacting with other streams and content creators, I realized how much bloody fun it is. And I just carried on. And then I started to add other things that I like to do into that content creation umbrella, because I thought, well, why not? I'm in a pandemic. I've got nothing to do. I would be doing this thing regardless. So let's pop that into the stream and see if people like it. And if they don't, I'm going to do it anyway.
I mean, you're the head honcho. You run the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love it.
Can I just quickly say, before you carry on, Amy said she didn't even know what Twitch was about in the pandemic. So she was like, last March. Go on Twitch, I got 5.5k followers. What a hero. Round of applause. That's incredible.
I actually have the stats of your growth on Twitch. And honestly, like for someone who's only been streaming about a year now, right? You've only been doing this about a year. Started about July of last year.
Yeah, the 1st of July was my first stream on my own. I started streaming actually on the business account, but then I moved house because I originally lived with my boss. But I bought a house, moved out, and was like, oh, I'm gonna have to make my own channel because I can't stream on yours anymore. So that's when the 1st of July happened, when I actually began streaming on my own channel.
And it's been steady growth for you. I mean, usually what a lot of people, because you're a Twitch partner now, you have like over 5,000, as Shay said, you have over 5,000 followers. Usually a lot of people will see like a jump, like a big like, oh, this month we were here, but now we're like way up here. And you've been this steady, constant growth every single month, getting 300 followers for a couple months. And then you moved up to 500 and then 700 followers per month. And your viewer average has also done steady incline as well. Yeah. So, and that's really interesting because a lot of people will say, you know, because you've said you do art, you do the video game, you know, some Nuzlocke. I think you're doing, is it Radical Red?
Yes,
you did
and this
Radical
is the
Red
run,
lately?
okay? This is the run.
This is the run.
This is the run.
But like that and the trading card game, a person could say like those are very different mediums.
They are
in terms of Pokemon content that don't really overlap too much. So how have you been able to, you know, keep that consistency while doing like all these different things? You know, you said like you like trying new things, and if the community doesn't like it, well, we're just going to do it anyways.
Yeah, we just do it anyway.
But how have you kind of kept everybody meshed together and continued that upward trend?
I mean, to be honest, I think a lot of it is scheduling. I'm very much I like to know what's happening and when, and I turn up regularly on time, which is ironic because today I was 5 minutes late. But basically, I think a lot of it's to do with scheduling. If people know what you're going to be doing and when, and you just stick it there. If you can, just leave it in that time slot forever. I had to go back to work after the pandemic, so my schedule had to change slightly, but people adapted in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. Like they will adapt. Just a lot of streamers I see have these weekly schedules that change. And I know that's sometimes not possible with it. Like they have to do that because of their work schedules and they're like working around their social lives. That's fine. But if you can, stick it in a place and leave it there, because people will just start to know that you're going to be live and show up for whatever. The other thing that I found really helpful is just not giving up. I was told by multiple people, why on earth are you doing those Nuzlocks, by the way? You only get like 5 viewers and it's really bringing your channel down because you get 20 viewers for your, this is like early doors, obviously, 20 viewers for your TCG content. And I was like, yeah, but I'm enjoying myself. And the VOD's there. If people want to tune in and watch it later, they can. And maybe that will trigger something. And I've been Nuzlocking for a good 10 years. The moment I started watching YouTubers doing it about 10 years ago, I started doing it too. Like this is a world that I am not estranged from. I'm very happy. I'm very I would be doing this just regardless. So all I want to do is sit here and have some fun. And my perspective on it was, I'm never going to hit partner. So who cares? Who cares if my viewer average is a little bit lower for these 1 stream a week or 2 streams a week? It's not hurting me. It's an average. What will hurt me is if the other streams start to suffer, but they won't. People that just aren't interested in that content just won't tune in. But then maybe people will discover they do like that sort of content because they watch your other stuff. And I found a lot of overlap in that.
I think community building is like the biggest thing about Twitch and having that diversity and variety. And it's crazy to see like the people who can do it, you know, like you or, you know, other people who can just literally, I mean, you could watch paint dry on a wall and you probably still average like 100 viewers. at
well,
this
they
point.
do watch paint dry once a week, so.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean,
Say,
you paint on the Pokemon. That's a little bit more exciting though, in my opinion, because I mean those are beautiful designs. I love seeing those.
I love
But
that
Shay,
I'm currently painting a base set Charizard just to drive the internet insane.
I love it. I love it. Get it signed. Get it signed.
by Matsuhiro.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That'd be
Proper
fantastic.
capitalize on the outrage going on right now.
Yeah.
And then Shay, kind of talk about real quick your introduction into content creating, because YouTube is a completely different side, in my opinion, when it comes to starting and creating content, in my opinion, as compared to like a live. Well, you can't go live on YouTube, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Content on demand. I was sitting there thinking, like, when was the time I thought I'm gonna start making videos? I actually can't remember. If I go onto my channel now, I'll go, what's the oldest video? Oldest. I don't know. It's weird. I've always like been in front of the camera. I used to have, if anyone can find the channel, you're in for a treat. Like Call of Duty videos back when I was like 16, 17. I don't know why. I've always watched YouTube. Like if you look at my analytics on YouTube, I've watched like 12 hours a day. A lot of that's music. Don't get me wrong, but I watch YouTube a lot. And I just thought, I'm a probably kind of geezer. I'm sure I can make some decent videos. So then at the start, it was just like making stuff that I wanted that other people weren't making. Like, so towards the start of the pandemic, maybe a bit before, like there wasn't really many super competitive focused podcasts. So that's what I used to do. Like, I used to do a podcast, cut it up, get a podcast, cut it up into segments, upload like that. And then moving forward, when the pandemic hit, I just thought, well, I've got literally nothing else to do. I'm a personal trainer outside of this. So I literally can't do anything. The gyms are closed. Let's just hyper focus on this YouTube thing for however long it's going to be, 6 months, a year, and just see what happens. So I did some research and what's the best way to grow all search-based content and all that. So I thought, okay, we'll do some future format, see how that goes. I mean, that was fun, but it was very, you can't really get your personality out if you're doing a new format deck profile. We play this, we do this, have a like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. So we did that for a bit, and then like I think slowly I started getting bored of that. So I was trying to eke some more personality content out slowly, until the time I started doing actual comedic skits. I remember the day very clearly. I remember uploading it thinking, this is not funny. No, this is gonna tank. I'm such an idiot. Uploaded it anyway. Did a couple of those. They went all right. And then I think it was the players that you see at Pokemon events. That was the one where I thought, okay, if I do it properly, this stuff goes down well. So from then I was just like, right, let's just sort of, I wouldn't say forget about the competitiveness, but let's just try and make every video as entertaining, as fun as possible, and carry on from there. But another thing I'd say with me, though, I'm like super petty. My close friends will know this. Like, I remember I was telling someone that I was uploading daily, and they were like, oh, you can't keep that going. I was like, all right then. Did like 3 months daily. Someone said, oh yeah, your videos don't know that very good. I was like, really? Well, there we go. So I don't know, sort of like that Kobe, Michael Jordan-esque pettiness. I'm just like, right, like I can't do it. Watch me.
Yeah, and I mean,
I think that's respectable. I like that.
You've been able to turn it on because like prior to the pandemic, you're getting a couple subscribers every day. I did end up finding your Modern Warfare 3 video, throwback montage, best of 2 Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, wow.
I did. It was very easy. All I had to do was type in your name.
Yeah,
I'm the sucker for searching that. I remember Sean told me he was like a hula hooper. Wait, what was that stuff, Sean?
I like a fire spinner hula hooper person for like, many years.
Oh, no.
Those are the incredible things that I love looking up and finding. But then like once the pandemic hit, you started getting 20 subscribers a day, 40 subscribers a day, with that determination, with that fun-esque that you were doing, you were just able to turn it on, and you were able to, and now you're hitting 3,000. I can't even imagine hitting like 500 subscribers on YouTube. Sub to the YouTube, by the way. So like it's just crazy, the charisma that you bring, and the different in my opinion, the different side that a lot of people on YouTube won't make, right? Because a lot of YouTube videos in the trading card game are very cut and dry, copy paste almost. Here's a deck. Here's what the deck is about. Here's some games. But being able to spice things up, being able to do the skits as well. I remember when that skit, the Pokemon players in real life, that was like almost trending in terms of the trading card game category on like Twitter. So
I remember that day. I was sitting there on the YouTube studios refreshing, thinking, That's 50 more views. That's what's going on? Like, this is completely unheard of. Like, and from then I was like, right, yeah, let's carry on with this then.
It's just awesome. It's awesome to see both of you do your thing and kind of rise. But not only you all have had your rise, unfortunately, we can't bring every single content creator, that does the Pokemon trading card game that's grown during the pandemic. But what do you feel like, has really given a rise to the Pokemon trading card game during the lockdown phase? Maybe talk about a little bit of that and how, the interest has affected your channels per se.
Do you want to start, Amy, or should I start?
Yeah. I think a lot of it has been that people just haven't been able to play at their local leagues. There's a lot of influencers that were larger before things went down that kind of influence the market in regards to collectors, and I do think that has a knock-on effect to players. I think that does draw more people to Pokemon as a hobby. It's in the news, it's kicking off, like, yeah, all of that does happen. It makes an effect, and people were just bored and like trying to make some money. And obviously there's the scalper situation, and weirdly that does benefit us slightly in that it does draw more people to the card game. People are bored, they're at home, they're working from home, they're looking for things to tune into, and they're thinking about, what happens, even if you're not a very competitive player, but they're watching all these streams, they're like, I could do this. And I think that's just one of the big things, is that people had nothing to do, and now that the pandemic is starting to calm down, the category is still growing. The people who are starting Pokemon TCG content creation on Twitch specifically right now are growing faster than any other channel in the category I've ever seen, including myself. They are growing fast, and that's because people are more invested in it than they used to be. Even the big channels like Tricky Gym, like Azul, they're bigger than they've ever been before, and it has been a bit of a jump for them. They went from about 500 average viewers to like 700-800, and it's stuck. And it's not like, it's still growing, but that jump did happen for them. I saw it, I witnessed it. It did happen, and it's crazy and great, but the category as a whole is growing, and that's because the hobby is growing, and that is a fantastic thing to see during a pandemic when other TCGs have suffered. Ours has thrived, and it's thanks to these wonderful content creators that have kept this alive and that have kept this interesting, that have grown this, and Pokemon themselves have also acknowledged this, and they're rewarding those larger content creators. They are pushing them, they are partnering with them in some cases and doing collaborations. This has not gone unnoticed, and it's fantastic to see.
Yeah, I've said it before. I think I said this a couple weeks ago, like applauding Pokemon with Chilling Reign, like sending all of these people boxes, codes to give away on stream or in channels and stuff. And how, like, 6 months ago, the Pokemon company wasn't sending people all of these codes and things like that. But now you're seeing a wider array. I wish they would go a little bit further and, maybe talk to me a little bit. Like, I don't know, I'm kind of feeling left out here. But
get some Europeans on the go. We exist.
Yeah, like get out of America. Like, America sucks. Get out of here. Go to other places, people. Like,
it's really just lovely to see that they acknowledge that during a pandemic, their online client paired with these wonderful content creators is what has absolutely bolstered the Pokemon TCG alongside the collectors. Don't get me wrong, shout out to them. They've been phenomenal in also this process of bolstering the TCG, but it's just been fantastic to see, because it's something that I don't think anybody expected. I expected to really struggle to claw people back to Pokemon League after the pandemic. It's not really been like that. Obviously people are taking their time coming back when they're comfortable, but it's not been as bad as I thought, and that's one of the reasons I do put down to having these things in place, having these places to go online that are always accessible, and having these wonderful content creators who genuinely care about the hobby. It's not just people who are just there like, yeah, I'm just gonna play ADP boss game for like 3 hours. Like, they're not like that. They're wanting to genuinely help people. They're wanting to genuinely have deck ideas that can benefit everybody, from budget decks to high meta decks, but helping people to achieve those goals, not just doing what they want to do, but actually engaging with this community.
Shay, how about you?
I was thinking as Amy was talking, I think one thing that really, really super helped the hobby, because going into the pandemic, I thought this could be the worst time ever to try and maintain a semi-competitive Pokemon channel. There's no events, but I think Limitless and like the Sunday Open, and even yourself, Amy, the Dice Cup, but I've got videos on my channel where I'm getting involved with Dice Cup events, to be fair. I think that sort of closed or reduced some barriers for a lot of people that wanted to get involved with competitive, but like, you know, didn't live close enough to League Cups, for example, or were maybe too anxious about going to League. I know my sister's very anxious about going to events like this, right? So I think having that sort of reduced barriers for a lot of people, it's then a lot of people were actually getting involved in a more competitive, more people in the tournaments. And now Limitless, you can find like, 4, 5, 6 tournaments going on every day. Like even before the pandemic, events are only on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? So having that absolute multitude of events just really helps, you know, people get involved in the TCG, more people, you know, looking at different deck profiles. And like Amy was saying, even I know the sort of collectors, the increase of collectors might get a bad rap on social media, but let's say random number, an extra 100,000 people got involved with Pokemon cards. If like 1% of those actually get involved in playing a game, what's that, like an extra 1,000? Is that correct?
Yeah,
is that right?
That
Matt?
is correct.
I think about yeah. So like, and that will happen. That's a very conservative.
It does happen.
1%.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing is that the collectors, if anything, like them getting a bad rep, no news is bad news, like in regards to promotion. That's getting the Pokemon TCG in the limelight, and that is all we need. And the more people that grab things, all their kids get interested. Wait, this is a game. It all just flows into one another eventually. So as bad rep as they might get, they are a crucial part of this hobby. Without those sales, without them not needing the commons we need,
Crobat B is like a $3 card. Like, awesome. Remember when Dedenne was like,
without the collectors, without that boom, we don't get cheap singles, and we need cheap singles to play our favorite hobby. And that is something that will encourage people to play as well. I've also had a lot. I'd love to know how many. I wish I'd have kept track now. I've had a lot of people come over to my tournaments and say, hi, I'm from the Magic the Gathering community and I would like a cheaper, fun TCG to play. What do you think to Pokemon? And I just said, look, let's just try it out. Let's just try it out. And if you want to build the deck you've built online in real life, I'll help you find the cards for cheap. And they ended up building those decks and coming back to me and going, oh, Amy, I just built 4 Pokemon decks by selling 1 Magic deck. And I've got leftover money for a pint. Yeah. And it's like that joyous moment they realize I can play competitively and I don't have to spend my life savings. And that is partially thanks to the collectors, because they don't need the cards we need. They just need like one of it in like a PSA 10 or whatever. And then the rest are on the market for us to snap up at $2-3 a piece. You know, like that is magic in itself. If you want to be a competitive Pokemon TCG player, buy singles, people.
Yeah. I would say, like, for me, especially, like, getting back into it, because I've taken a bit of a break, but, you know, post-pandemic, like, post-rotation, I'm pretty sure I want to get back into it. And, yeah, singles is the way to go for me. The one thing I will say is the boxes, because the sets have gotten so large, and because you need a V and a VMAX, so 2 cards in the super rare slot, basically, in order to build any competitive deck. To me, that's where it's like, I have actually stopped buying boxes because it's prohibitively expensive to, especially compared to the Sun and Moon era, prohibitively expensive to build decks through sealed. But yeah, singles is the cheapest game to play.
Absolutely, but then if there aren't these collectors opening those singles to sell them, someone's got to buy the boxes. Otherwise, those prices will start to bolster again. So we need them. We need them opening those boxes for stream. We need those. Otherwise, our single prices go up, and then we're encouraged to buy more boxes, and then you're in that luck ballpark again. I like opening boxes. That's part of my hobby. That's part of how I have fun at the start of a set and get myself hyped for it and learn the cards. So I buy boxes, but also I work at a game store, so I get discount. So let's not pretend like I'm spending loads and loads of money. I am spending a lot, don't get me wrong, and Evolving Skies is going to wipe me out, man. But but at the same time, that is part of how I enjoy the hobby and how I choose to, and I don't have to. if I need a budget month, I'm going to start buying my singles rather than opening a box and trading. But again, I have a really lovely league scene. I take those singles that I've pulled from my boxes and I take them to league and I trade them for what I do need. So I'm not spending any more money.
I want to not harp. That wasn't the right word. I want to bolster up Limitless a little bit more before we continue on. I feel like people a lot of times undervalue what Limitless has done in the Pokemon trading card game in terms of like the pandemic and the online era, as we will probably tell our kids or whatever. But they are incredible, not only to keeping people playing the game, but also like content creators. I think, Amy, you mentioned it earlier, like a lot of people are having big spikes, and channels that are just starting out have grown faster than they really did ever before, Limitless or the online era and things like that. And I think, Limitless's site in general has something to do with that, because, now they've implemented a thing to where if you're playing in a tournament, you're streaming, there's this little button that says, "Oh, this person's live."
Yeah.
And I think that helps a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially because
you
have
features are fantastic.
Yeah, it's a super easy site to run, especially if you are a streamer. If you're streaming and playing in a tournament at the same time, Limitless just makes it incredible. The tournament's going on all the time, as you said, Shay, like all hours of the day.
Yeah.
Also, it's been really good for all hours of the day as of late. I think the last couple months there's been a lot of tournaments that happen that are friendly for like Europe, Asia, like Australia, like all these different friendly times, and people just organizing these events. So
I think
I was going as far as to say, sorry, Karen. Sorry. I was going to say, I'd say Limitless by far was the savior of the Pokemon trading card game. If it weren't for Limitless, you think about, let's pick a tournament like Sunday Open, right? I think before Limitless, because I got hopped in a couple of early ones, you get about 30, 40 people, so about like a League Cup. Now, I cast it as well, by the way, just saying. People go to that Twitch Sunday Open, like I'm there casting that thing. But yeah, now it's like 300 people. That's like a regional. Yeah, that's bonk, and it wouldn't, and there's no chance that would exist without Limitless. And like Limitless, the way is it Pokestats of it, so you can like dial in Pokestat and see, today there was 30% of turners, 20% 80. That is insane knowledge for a content creator, or even anyone to have. And the fact that Limitless does that for free, whoa, Limitless, they're crazy, man.
I think you should give Limitless $2 a month via their Patreon, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's a good point. No, 100%.
But yeah, it's completely free if you want it.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say from like a judge's perspective is that running tournaments online is really hard. And if you want to get into that via Limitless, please think long and hard about it and get some real judges, real Pokemon professor judges involved, please. Because if you do not, the players can get very abusive. They have language that you didn't know existed. Because what you want to try and do, and this is hard, Limitless can't do this to an extent. There is limitations. It's very hard to replicate a real life tournament online because there are certain features that just do not allow for the style of judging that is in the official Pokemon TCG rules. So please, if you are considering being a tournament organizer after listening to this, please get some actual judges on board, because there are certain things like slow playing. There are certain things like bugs in TCGO that cannot be judged properly online. There are limitations to what Limitless can bring to us, as fantastic as they are and as amazing tool this is. From a judge's perspective, there are limitations that will always be there. And without judges to properly explain to people why we can't do that, or what rules we have implemented as tournament organizers with our series versus other rules and other series, because they will differ. Please read the rules. Those will be difficult limitations. At the moment, right now, there are 3 bugs on PTCGO. I could request that all the players, abide by the actual rules, and when that bug happens, their opponent does not respond in a way that they are technically cheating. But I can't view the match. I can't spectate. As a judge, I cannot see whether they are acknowledging that or not. I also had an awkward judge call last night where somebody had claimed they had won, and then the other person also claimed they had won. What do I do as a judge? So again, there are lots of limitations. So please be aware that if you want to start running tournaments on Limitless, please get somebody official involved.
Yeah, I've said this on the pod before, but especially because, we're all on screens, we're not facing IRL. Some people can be very nasty and fearless when it comes to what they want to say. I mean, we see it all the time. And what is it? What is that Twitter account? PTCG posting L's or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's it. TCGO players posting L's. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's like the most fun Twitter account I've ever seen.
But as a judge, if you get that aimed at you, it's not very nice. We personally have a very strict bad sportsmanship rule. If somebody is rude to a judge or another player, they're banned for life, which is like, no, out. There's no.
I applaud you for that.
If they have gone to the effort to physically type, like sometimes when you're face to face, if you go like, oh, grr, F you or whatever, or saltiness, like that sometimes can't be helped. People just like blurt, they just word vomit, don't they? And then you'll reprimand them. You'll be like, no, don't do that. Bad. But online, they have taken the effort to type and send that. With the intention of hurting somebody's feelings, and that is not okay. If you type it and go, okay, I've got that on my system, delete, don't send. That's okay. But you have made the effort to send that, and whether it's in English, Spanish, or any of the other languages we have had to deal with, we know what you're saying, and we will ban you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think too, it's like the whole idea of like sanctioned events, right? When you're running a sanctioned event, you also have the larger Pokemon company rules that you need to follow. But like these online events, they're not subject to that. So it's like, okay, a lot of this is being done now, not to like help people qualify for Worlds, but out of like the love that you have.
And for the love of the game, yeah.
And so it's like, if you can't go into this with like, even if there are like real prizes on the line, like if you can't go into this with like a good mentality, like don't do it then. Just don't do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye. Like, if you're going to get that salty about an online game as well, like PTCGO is not, it is a wonderful client, but it is not perfect. It does have faults, and things will go wrong that are completely out of your control. And sometimes that might mean that you lose. So like with these bugs or disconnects and things like that, if you're not prepared for that emotionally, then you should not be entering these events.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But
it happens.
So coming on towards the tail end of things, final big question, I guess you could say. So you both probably think about Pokemon and Pokemon trading card game content specifically a lot. You're content creators, you're always planning for the future, things like that. Where do you think Pokemon trading card game content is going, especially now that lockdown is pretty much lifted for a lot of places? Things are going back to normal. I kind of say that in quotations. I personally don't believe we'll ever go back to normal. But how do you believe that the content will evolve in the Pokemon trading card game on your respected platforms?
I don't think it's going to change much at all, to be honest with you. I mean, you might get some more like IRL vlog type event stuff. But if you rewind sort of before the pandemic, you look at the big sort of TCG YouTube's got like Omnipote, you'll have like Azul, you'll have all that stuff. Like the style of content hasn't necessarily changed, right? Apart from you might have some more sort of online streams, maybe where someone's doing like a chill and they're streaming the whole thing. You can't really stream a League Cup run. That's not really possible unless you've got like a big hench rig like Sean's got. Jesus Christ. But so I think on YouTube at least, I don't think it's going to change much at all, to be honest with you. Because like if you're a content creator, you might like, if you want to like showcase a deck, you're not going to like hook up a camera down the table. I mean, you can, but it's much easier and much more appealing to the eye for the most part if you just like hop on TCG, right? So I think on YouTube, I don't think it's going to change that much outside of like more like event vlogs / IRL stuff, maybe. Personally, anyway, I don't think it's going to change much.
I don't think it's going to change a lot, but I think it will evolve with the times because we're going to have new people being inspired to do content creation. I think there will be new stuff coming out that maybe we haven't considered before. And I think just when like new games and new metas come out, things will just start to evolve naturally into other types of content creation, which I think will be really interesting to see kind of what happens in the future. And I hope that people aren't afraid to continue to branch out as well. Like a lot of people, I think sometimes if your channel isn't the largest and you do end up falling into the trap of being a one-trick pony, sometimes people might lose interest I think sometimes to an extent you need to try something different every now and again, even if it's just for a stream or half a stream, or like just doing something a little bit unique or different. Yeah. It doesn't even have to be unique, because like I didn't think my content was at all unique. And when I asked people like, why are you tuning into me rather than these other content creators? What is the difference? Because I don't see it. I don't see what's different. And they said, you're different. You're what the difference is between you and that channel and that channel and this channel. You are doing the same thing, but you are a different person, and you are what I'm tuning in for. And so sometimes that changed my perspective a little bit on it as well, is that it's not necessarily the content that's being created that people are there for, it's the person as well. Mm-hmm. And so to an extent, I think you should be less afraid to try something new, because if people like you as a content creator, they're going to tune in. Now, maybe Call of Duty isn't their thing or whatever, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to find other people that are interested in you as a content creator. And then maybe they, accidentally tune in for a TCG stream, and then we have no more TCG players. You know, it's happened a lot to me. People are tuned in for the Nuzlocke, they've tuned in for the art, and then they've gone, oh, hi, yeah, I was just popping in for a few minutes. I don't really understand the card game. And I go, wait. Let me explain it to you. It's very simple. Mm-hmm. And I just do the basics, just that this is how your turn works. And they go, oh, that wasn't as complicated as I thought it was. Maybe I'll stick around.
Yeah. I think that Pokemon is nice in that way compared to Magic, as you were saying earlier. It's a much simpler game. So like somebody just dropping into a Pokemon TCG stream, you can actually learn a lot of the game within like one stream of watching somebody. Definitely. Whereas Magic, it's like,
from my perspective as a content creator, if we can just like take a minute, even if the rest of the chat knows how to play, just take a minute to explain what you're doing thoroughly on your turns, because somebody who hasn't played before is in your chat right now. One person. But I don't care, because that one person can make a huge difference. And how do I not know that they're not the next Azul? They're not the next Tricky Gym. I'm teaching this person how to play.
Yeah.
Now, the big question is, what is your favorite deck to play right now?
Shay, have you got your favorite?
Yeah, I got it here. Look, we got it.
Sleep. Oh my God. It's so bright. It's so bright.
I got one more choice yet. I haven't got the other one yet. No,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so this is the deck I play. I can't stand it sometimes though. Turn 2, 1.
Eternatus.
Stop it. Yeah, definitely the Eternatus gear. I don't want to think much because I'm not that clever. I just want to fill the bench and just do damage. I can do that sometimes quite well. So
for anyone who may not be on YouTube and is listening to like Spotify or Apple, Shay showed off a very blinged out gold and black Eternatus deck. Very, very beautiful with an alt art mold trace, which I want. But Amy, what is your favorite right now?
Right now, my favorite competitive deck is Urshifu Rapid Strike. And my favorite non-meta deck that I enjoy playing is Orbeetle VMAX. I freaking love it so much, and I will play it every day if I can. But I wouldn't be able to take it to a regionals or something, so that would be sad. But I'm very much enjoying Shadow Rider Cakes, but my build isn't perfect yet, so I'm still working on it.
It's actually mad that you said Orbeetle, because I was walking home from the gym today. I was thinking, I'm making Orbeetle my pet deck. That card is so fun.
Orbeetle is mine. It is mine. So I absolutely adore it, and I would happily take it to a challenge. I take it to locals. I would not have the bravery to take it to a regionals. I might take it to a cup just because it has a really good Eternatus matchup. So I think it has its advantages, and it's great against the new Shadow Rider Calyrex as well. Basically, the more energy they've got attached to their Pokemon, the better I'm doing. So it's great against Pikarom. It's great against Mew 3. I'm just sat there like, more energy, the better, please.
I just like it on PTCGO with Orbeetle, how it puts the damage counters on all the Pokemon. It is quite possibly one of the most satisfying
It's very satisfying.
In
Especially
the
when
online
you're
client.
against Eternatus and they've got that giant bench. It's just a bam, 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 bam.
Got all those Zigzagoons. See you later, buddies. See ya.
Literally. The more Ziggies are on that bench, the happier I am.
So real quick, let's just quickly mention before we head out, TCG Fit Fam. What was the workout today?
Today I did back, so a lot of rows, bit of biceps as well and forearms. That was my workout today. Yeah, doing a bit of curling. I think I actually put a tweet up today about that, thinking about it. Yeah.
So kind of talk a little bit real quick about the TCG Fit Fam. Kind of explain to maybe some people that may not know what it is and maybe how they can get into the TCG Fit Fam as well if they want.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, but I'm not doing Pokemon. I'm a personal trainer. So, and like a lot, and like everyone else, a lot of people, I should say, during the pandemic, I went from like 100 kilograms, kind of lean, so I went all up to like 120. I don't know what that is in pounds.
What is that in stones, mate?
I only know stones.
Okay, so hold on. So 120 kg in LBS. I know that's quite popular over there in America. That's 264 pounds. That was me at my heaviest. And then in stone, is it like pushing 16, 17? I think, isn't it? 18.9. So let's not mess about. Doesn't matter how much muscle you got on you. If you weigh 18.9 for the most part, you are a fat geezer. So I looked in the mirror. I was like, Shay, what's all this about? So then I think when gyms opened up in the UK, it might have been about April time or something. I just wanted to document the journey a little bit because there was a lot of other Pokemon people sort of on Twitter, like Rahul, for example. Yep. God, I'm forgetting names now. Will post as well.
I think
Connor
Sleepy
Burke.
Dreepy might be getting
Sleepy, Sleepy, yes, good shout. Tubbs Warner as well. And I just thought, well, I don't know. I thought if I can document this stuff, help motivate other people. Because I was seeing these guys and I was getting motivated. And I was thinking, I'm the one that's been training for 10 years, but seeing like Rahul Reddy or Tubbs, doing their bench press, like, if they can do it. Who's that? Daniel Avella as well with that incredible weight loss. I'm thinking if they can do it, there's absolutely zero reason why I can't. And if I can document myself doing it, then that might help. Even if it helps just one person, then it was worth it, right? So I just sort of uploaded some stuff. Had the hashtag TCG FitFam because that FitFam is like a hashtag on Instagram, like from a few years ago. I just thought I'd sling TCG on there. Didn't expect much of it. And then some more people started using it. Some more people started using it. I thought, okay, it might have something here. So just kept on rolling with it. It's just like a family, community environment. It's just like, doesn't matter what part of your journey you're on. Doesn't matter how much you weigh or how much you can lift. We're all in this together, one big TCG family. Had some Magic the Gathering people getting hopped in as well, which is pretty gnarly. And yeah, it's just like that sort of, let's just all do this together. Let's help keep ourselves self-accountable, stay positive, share our big things like that. And yeah, it's going quite well, to be fair. So I'm kind of happy how that panned out. Might be one of my favorite things, I've got 3K in a video and getting close to 10,000 views. But that having that, and I know that there's people out there in America, Australia, that are now like bettering themselves off a silly hashtag that I did of me in the gym. It's just mad. So yeah, kind of glad how that worked. Even you, Sean, you got involved with it.
I did. I need to keep working out. I started doing climbing a little bit too, but I need to. I've fallen off the wagon, Shay.
Yeah. Well, come on, get that hashtag.
I know.
But yeah, if you wanna jump in on that, maybe share your workouts or just share that you did something today in terms of working out, whatever level that may be to you. Make sure to please use hashtag TCG FitFam over on Twitter or any other platform that you use. But now that we've sadly come to a close, my friends, maybe give a little bit of shout outs. Where can people find you all?
Go on, Amy, I'll let you go first. You've been starting.
So you can find me on Twitch or YouTube at PumpkaAmy. I don't upload to YouTube as much as I would like, but I'm hoping to change that soon because I do work 3 full-time jobs, and do content creation. So yeah, I need a bit of help with that basically because I don't have time to do my own editing. So I am starting to sort that out. So hopefully more stuff will be appearing on YouTube soon, even if it's a bit cut and dry. But mainly you can find me on Twitch. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram. Same again at PumpkaAmy. So it would be fantastic to see some of you pop by sometime.
Good, very good. Then as for me, Twitter HotChocPTCG, Twitch HotChocPTCG, and YouTube HotChocPTCG. I say YouTube and Twitter are my main socials. I'm sort of debating in my head whether I want to hop in streaming a bit more. And I think if I stream on YouTube, it'll be TCG stuff. I'm debating whether to take my Twitch stuff non-Pokemon stuff. I like Dark Souls, I like Final Fantasy, I like Cyberpunk. So if you want to potentially see me do some mad stuff over there, check Twitch out. If you want to see all my Pokemon stuff, come to the Twitter and the YouTube. So yeah, got some big things planned over there. Got some projects in the works.
I didn't know that you were a Dark Souls fan. That kind of catches me off guard.
Have I got any Dark Souls stuff knocking about? Oh, I don't know if you can see. Hold on. You see the helmet?
Oh, yeah,
That's
there we
Dark
go.
Souls 1.
Yeah.
My sister did the edit. Yeah, I love Dark. Because I haven't played Dark Souls 2 yet, so I think I might do a blind Dark Souls playthrough on Twitch, which absolutely scares the living daylights out of me.
Yeah, that should.
I think I might do it. So yeah.
Hey, I'm in. Once I see that live ping, I'm jumping in and I'm gonna heckle the heck out of you the whole time.
I've heard it here first. I've locked myself in. I will be doing that at some point. So go follow the Twitter, HotChocPTCG, and watch me be bad at Dark Souls 2.
Sean, is there anything else we want to say before we call it a day?
I don't have anything else. Thank you both for joining us. I really enjoyed chatting with you, meeting you, Amy, myself at least for the first time, and seeing you again, Shay.
No, it's been lovely.
And yes, I will say, Amy, I might hit you up about Digimon at some point in the future.
Please do.
I've been, as Jake knows, very deep in the Digimon world. I've refrained from talking about it a lot on the podcast, but that has been.
It's a very fun game, and I wouldn't have got into it if it weren't for my job. But I'm excited to see where it goes.
But I will leave it at that. We won't talk more about Digimon here.
And I'm excited to see where you all go. I'm excited to see where the podcast goes and the Pokemon trading card game in general. But Amy, Shay, thank you again for joining us here on the Metapod, the Pokemon TCG podcast that revolves around the evolving meta. This meta turned out to be content creation, as you could say. But have a great rest of the day. Thank you for listening/watching, and see you later.